Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started on equivalent ratios, and that starts on page 59. So go ahead and get your book open to 59. Again, if you don't have your book, then you're going to want to make sure that you put the notes on a piece of paper somewhere that you can keep them all together so that you can use them later. We're going to jump right on into this right here, this real world link. It says, Andrea spent $2 to make 10 prints from a photo booth. Later, she spent $6 to make 30 prints. So, taking a look here, notice that they put it into a table. They have 10 prints for $2 and 30 prints for $6. We're going to express the relationship between the numbers that she made and the total cost of prints as a rate, as a fraction. So this one right over here is going to be 10 prints for $2, and this one would be 30 prints for $6. Okay, so far so good. Then what we're going to do is we're going to compare the two. So that's kind of our plan, is we're going to take both of these ratios and compare the two. In order to be able to compare the two, we need to get them to a unit rate, which means we need to have a denominator of 1. So I'm going to take a look at 10 over 2, and I know that I can divide each of these by 2, which is going to give me 5 over 1. So what does that really mean? That really means that 5 prints cost $1. Oops, I was going to put a dollar sign. There we go. Okay, so for $1 you can get 5 prints. Let's check over here. So let's do 30 over 6. Knowing what I know about greatest common factor is that their greatest common factor is 6. But let's say that you're like, I can't remember what the greatest common factor is. Start small. Start with 2. Can I divide each of these by 2? I sure can. Okay, 15 over 3. I know that 15 and 3 have a common multiple or a common factor of 3, so I can divide each of those by 3, which gives me 5 over 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So here it is 5 prints for $1. Crazy, right? So what is the unit rate for 10 prints? Okay, the unit rate for 10 prints is you get 5 prints for $1. What about for 30 prints? 30 prints, you get 5 prints for $1. So obviously, what can we tell about these rates? They are equivalent. The word equivalent means the same. So if you want to, you're going to go ahead and write over here that equivalent means the same. So therefore, these rates are the same. Okay, because you can get 5 prints for $1 either way you look at it. All right, jump over to the next page, and we are going to go ahead and get into, just ignore that phone. I don't know how to turn it off. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get into this example right over here. Okay, I want you to take a look at number 1. And number 1 has 20 miles in 5 hours and 45 miles in 9 hours. So the first thing they're going to do is they're going to put 20 miles over 5, and then what they're going to do is they are going to figure out that that's 4 miles over 1 hour. Then you're going to put 45 miles over 9, and you're going to realize that that is 5 miles in 1 hour. So are those two equivalent? Oh my goodness, I moved it with my hand. Are these equivalent? No, these are not equivalent rates. Okay, they didn't match up. All right, take a look at this one. You can get 3 t-shirts for $21 or 5 t-shirts for $35. So we're going to write it as 21 over 3. Okay, and we know that we can divide each of these by 3, doing exactly what they did there, and you get 7 over 1. Okay, same thing here. They wrote 35 over 5, and then they divided each of those by 5, and you ended up getting 7 over 1. Are those equal? Yes, those are equal. Okay, they are equivalent fractions. Okay, let's take a look at this example right here. Let's take a look at A. 36 t-shirts in 3 boxes. So we're going to write 36, you should do this with me, over 3. And then we have 60 over 6. Okay, we know that we can divide each of these by 3, okay, which is going to give us 12 over 1. So you're going to get 12 shirts in one box. That is our ratio for this one. Here we know we can divide each of these by 6, and in this one you get 10 shirts in one box. Are these two equivalent? No, they are not equivalent. Okay? And then we're going to explain our reason. Okay, it says, so determine if each pair of rates is equivalent. We just showed our work. And are we going to explain them? No, they are not equivalent. Okay, because, okay, they blah, 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 blah. Oh, I forgot look at me, I forgot, it's an L. I did an L, oh my goodness. Okay, they are not equivalent because they have different unit rates. Okay, meaning that one is 12 and one is 10. The next one, let's take a look at this one. I'm going to go ahead and I hope you guys got that. I'm going to erase this part so I got a little bit of room to work. Okay, so 42 flowers, 42 flowers in 7 vases versus 54 flowers in 9 vases. Okay, I know that I can divide each of these by 7, which is going to give me 6 flowers in one vase. I'm going to divide each of these by 9, which is going to give me 6 flowers in one vase. So are they equivalent? Yes, they are equivalent. Okay, yes, they are equivalent. Okay, because they have the same unit rate. Okay, now let's take a look at the page over here. Okay, now what's going to happen is they're going to, so it's at the bottom of page 61. Okay, oh, actually let's do the top. Let's do this one. Okay, let's do C. It says Marcia made 10 bracelets for 5 friends. Okay, so she made 10 bracelets for 5 friends. And Jen made 12 bracelets for 4 friends. 12 bracelets for 4 friends. Are these rates equivalent? Explain your reasoning. So here's what we have to do. I'm going to look at each of these and I'm going to get them down to a unit rate. So here I know that I can divide each of these by 5, and that is 2 over 1. Okay, so each friend of Marcia's, I'm going to put an M there and I'm going to put a J here. Each friend of Marcia's got 2 bracelets for 1 friend. Here, we're going to divide by 4, and it is a 3-to-1 ratio. So when we look at these, are these equivalent? No, they are not equivalent. Okay, those are not the same unit rate. The next one, Club A raised $168 by washing 42 cars. Club B raised $152 by washing 38 cars. And then it says, are these fundraisers equivalent? Explain your reasoning. So 168 over 42. All right, well, I'm going to kind of try to make it a little bit easier, but we're going to divide each of these by 42, which is going to give me 4 over 1. Okay, again, this math is you might want to do the division on the side, but for the sake of getting through the lesson, okay. The next one is 152 and 38. I know that I can divide each of these by 38 because I know that I'm trying to get a unit rate of 1. And when I divide that by 38, I get 4. So when I look at those, they're going to wash, they're going to make $4 per 1 car. So they're making $4 per 1 car, so are they equivalent? Yes. Those two fundraisers are equivalent. So it doesn't matter whether you're for Club A or Club B. All right. Oh my gosh. Hang on. All right. See, sorry, what happens is phone calls happen, interruptions happen, just like class. It's normal. So we just keep rolling. All right, let's take a look at this next one. Number 4, it says, determine if these two rates or ratios are equivalent and explain your reasoning. Okay, take a look at this. 3 free throws made out of 7. Okay, and then 9 free throws made out of 14 attempts. So take a look at what they did here. We are trying to figure out if they are equivalent. Okay, so here are the free throws, and here are the attempts. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is, this is where the ratio table comes into play, is how do I get from this number to this number? And am I going to do the same thing from this number to this number? Remember, multiplying or dividing. So from 3 to 9, I know that I am going to multiply, because 3 times 3 is 9. Then I look at 7, and I think 7 times what gets me 14? 7 times 2 gets me to 14. So are these rates or ratios equivalent? They are not, because we did 2 different operations on this paper, or right here on this problem. We multiplied by 3, we multiplied by 2. Remember what I said. Whatever you do to one, you have to do to the other. Whatever you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. If you don't do that, it is not going to be equivalent. So, are these equivalent? No, they are not equivalent. Okay? All right. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to stop. If you feel like you have it, you're going to get started on your homework. If not, there's going to be another video that you can choose to watch to get more example problems from your book.